Yo, this video brought to you by Clippers
on Martin Luther King Avenue in Clayton.
Come on down and get your hair did. They do it tight and right. That's Clippers on MLK. G.
Aw, the ghetto. You know it when you see it. It's the parts of Georgia where you don't want to go, if you can help it. You just might say lots of places in the Peach State are straight ghetto fabulous. Just look at Clayton County.
If you ain't from Clayton County, boy, don't try to turn up off in Clayton County.
The goal today is to highlight the cities in Georgia that are the most ghetto of them all. How do we do it? We measure the things most ghettos have. You know, where people are broke, where lots of people don't have a job, and where crime is sky high. We even measured barbershops and check cashing convenience stores. Let's do this.
Shall we begin?
Our first stop on the ghetto tour of Georgia starts in Decatur, an Atlanta suburb, which ranks in the top 10 in Georgia for convenience stores and crime, and really low in income levels and graduation rates. Fact is, if you grew up in Decatur, there's a decent chance you've been the victim of a crime at some point. Decatur's the type of place where people get cornrows on their cats, and where you just might get iced for wearing the wrong hat in the wrong neighborhood. So you better play it safe if you want to stay out of trouble. Way out along I-95 near the coast is the ghetto city of Brunswick, which ranks 4th in the state for violence, 8th for check cashing convenience stores, and where a third of the population lives in poverty. People from Brunswick wear baggy pants to church, so you know they'll wear them when they go to work. Other signs you're from Brunswick? The local subway is behind glass. They lock up the Tide at your Walmart. This was what you got swatted with as a kid. And there's a DNA testing truck on your block. And we'll never be royals. About halfway between Macon and Valdosta along I-75 is the real ghetto city of Albany, which is truly ghetto fab. Albany is the 12th most dangerous place in the state and has the second highest unemployment rate of all large cities in Georgia. Just about every night of the news in Albany, they're talking about fights, shootings, drugs, and gangs. Sure, there's not a lot of traffic here, but a lot of people don't have jobs either, so they don't need a car anyways. But at least they have some culture here. After all, Albany has a pretty decent art museum. Continuing our ghetto tour of Georgia, we come to Milledgeville, a little city along Route 441, northeast of Macon. This is where 1 in 3 residents decided that school wasn't cool. Sure, Milledgeville is home to a major university, but you can bet that most of the population will never be caught dead in a college environment. Instead of time in class, lots of people in Milledgeville spend their time on the streets. If you took your lowered 1985 Oldsmobile up the highway from Atlanta, before you even finished that 40, you'd be in Marietta. And you'd be scared. Marietta is the 6th most violent place in Georgia. It's the 15th poorest and ranks 7th in Georgia for barber and beauty shop supply stores.
Because you need to take care of your hair, okay? We use real synthetic hair, because when you leave, you ain't got to touch that shit, okay?
Shit, girl, look at that do. Cruising down the street in my 6 bow. Jocking the freaks, clocking the dough. Welcome to Savannah, the 5th most ghetto place in the entire state. This is where they be hood hollerin'. Tourists that see the cute downtown might think Savannah's a fairy tale, but locals know it's more like a ghetto fairy tale. After all, Savannah has the 16th worst crime rate in the nation. Continuing our ghetto fabulous tour of Georgia, we come to Gainesville, right at the end of I-985. Only about 2 in 3 people in Gainesville graduated high school, and it has one of the highest crime rates in the state. Gainesville's the type of place where you might see a tumbleweed blowing around downtown. But at least there's some ghetto booties in Gainesville, so you can pull up quick and get with them. Smack dab in the middle of South Atlanta is the real ghetto city of East Point, located about 3 Drake songs south of downtown. If you know somebody from East Point, they're probably listening to police sirens this very minute. East Point has been called the most dangerous suburb in the country, where you have a 1 in 8 chance of being the victim of a crime every year. Since East Point's so close to the airport, if you decide to cruise through some of the worst areas while on vacation, you're gonna have a bad time. In fact, you just might say this area of the 404 between the airport, the zoo, and the cemetery is pretty much the ghetto triangle for the entire state. If you were stupid enough to walk south of East Point on Route 29, after you smoked your joint, you'd come to College Park, a really ghetto city that's right next to the airport. You know when you get there because you'll see a car up on blocks. College Park ranks 9th for check cashing convenience stores, is the 20th poorest city, and has the worst crime rate in the entire state. In fact, if you spend a year in College Park, there's about a 1 in 10 chance you'd be the victim of a crime yourself. You know who else is from College Park? The rappers Ludacris, 2 Chainz, and Jermaine Dupri. And they don't write songs about butterflies and rainbows either, if you know what I mean. And where's the most ghetto city in Georgia? That would be Macon, hands down. One of the larger cities in Georgia to make this list. You can bet that just about everyone in M-Town is at least a quarter ghetto. Macon ranks in the top 10 for crime, is 4th for convenience stores, and 9th for unemployment in Georgia. When you're in the city of Macon, some parts might look like one big ghetto, but you can tell who's really from Macon though. They're the ones with the 40, the pistol, the beat-up car, and a pit bull. You know people from Macon are territorial too, so you better not mess around, or you might meet Ice Cube's little brother, Crushed Ice. If you live in Macon, or any of the other Georgia cities we mentioned, you live in Ghetto Central. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm from Georgia, and yeah, I'm so poor, you don't even know I'm so poor it would bore ya. People think we're all peaches and cream, but there's places in Georgia with people like me.